In the heart of the city, where towering skyscrapers kissed the clouds and the streets buzzed with life, an ordinary day was unfolding. The afternoon sun bathed the bustling urban neighborhood in a warm glow, illuminating people as they went about their routines. Commuters hurried along sidewalks, their footsteps echoing against concrete, shopkeepers arranged their displays, and children played nearby in a small park dotted with greenery. The atmosphere was vibrant, filled with laughter, conversations, and the distant sounds of traffic. Among these urban giants stood the Crestview Tower, a sleek high-rise that had become a symbol of modern living. Its glass facade reflected both the sky and the energy of the city below, housing hundreds of residents who embraced the fast-paced lifestyle. On this particular day, though, beneath its polished exterior and within its walls lay an impending disaster that would soon shatter the peaceful ambience. As early evening approached, an unexpected plume of smoke began to rise from one of the upper floors of Crestview Tower. It started as a faint wisp but quickly evolved into a thick cloud that darkened the sky above. Panic erupted as onlookers noticed flames licking at windows and billowing outwards, an ominous sign of chaos to come. Sirens blared in the distance as emergency vehicles rushed to the scene. Firefighters prepared for a daunting battle against an inferno that threatened lives. The streets transformed into scenes of urgency and fear. Bystanders gathered, their faces etched with concern as they peered up at the blazing building. Some pulled out their phones to capture footage while others called loved ones or emergency services. Children were ushered away from danger by anxious parents who shielded them from the harsh reality unfolding before them. Amidst this turmoil, hope flickered like a candle in darkness. News spread quickly that The Rock, beloved actor and former wrestling champion, was attending a charity event just blocks away. His presence ignited whispers among those watching, sparking anticipation that someone larger than life might step in when help was needed most. Little did they know that he would soon be called upon to become not just an icon but a true hero in this moment of crisis. As the smoke thickened and flames danced perilously close to the upper floors of Crestview Tower, chaos erupted in the once bustling streets. The fire, initially contained, spread like wildfire, fueled by gusts of wind that swept through the cityscape. Bright orange flames licked at windows, crackling as they consumed everything in their path. Panic gripped onlookers who stood frozen for a moment before instinct kicked in. Some screamed for help while others dialed emergency services, their voices rising above the din of sirens. Firefighters arrived swiftly, their red engines screeching to a halt in front of the towering inferno. With practiced urgency, they leaped from their vehicles, donning helmets and gear as they prepared to confront the growing blaze. Teams coordinated rapidly, assessing the situation and deploying hoses to combat the flames that threatened to engulf the entire building. Their presence instilled a glimmer of hope amidst the escalating panic. As more firefighters joined the fray, a command center was established just outside the building's entrance. Officers shouted orders over the cacophony of alarms and screams, directing personnel to strategically position ladders against the side of Crestview Tower. The heat radiated outward, creating an oppressive atmosphere that made it difficult for anyone nearby to breathe. Meanwhile, residents trapped inside faced a harrowing reality. Smoke filled hallways like an unrelenting fog, disorienting those who tried to find escape routes. Some clung to exits while others gathered at windows, desperate for fresh air and fearful of what lay beyond those glass panes. Shouts for help echoed within the building's confines, a haunting reminder of lives hanging in balance. Outside, bystanders watched with bated breath as brave firefighters fought valiantly against nature's wrath. Children clutched their parents' hands tightly, eyes wide with fear but also curiosity about this dramatic scene unfolding before them. News crews arrived quickly, capturing footage that would soon broadcast across screens nationwide, images of bravery juxtaposed against chaos. Amidst this turmoil and urgency, whispers about The Rock spread through the crowd like wildfire. People speculated whether he would intervene during this crisis. Could a celebrity really make a difference? As flames roared and sirens blared, hope surged alongside dread, a potent reminder that courage often arises in unexpected forms. Just moments after the community began to spiral into fear and uncertainty, the atmosphere shifted with a shared spark of hope. News was spreading that The Rock was in the vicinity for a local charity event aimed at uplifting underprivileged youth in the area. Known not only for his impressive physique and charisma but also for his genuine dedication to humanitarian causes, he quickly became the beacon everyone needed. As crowds gathered outside, anticipating further developments, a familiar figure emerged. The Rock appeared, certainty and calmness emanating from him as he made his way through the throngs of anxious onlookers. Dressed in a fitted black shirt and jeans, he exuded both strength and approachability, a comforting presence amidst chaos. Fans cheered for him, some calling out his name, drawn not just by his fame but by the uplifting energy he had always brought to such moments. "Stay back, evacuate the area," shouted a police officer as The Rock approached, but instead of retreating from the chaos, he gravitated toward it with a sense of purpose. His eyes took in the scene, assessing the urgency that engulfed Crestview Tower. He understood that this was more than just another media opportunity. Lives were at stake. That he engaged directly with emergency personnel, inquiring about their assessment and strategies. "What can I do to help?" he asked earnestly, embodying both humility and determination as he stood shoulder to shoulder with those trained for such emergencies. While he was undeniably a star in Hollywood, at that moment he wore no cape, just a genuine desire to support his community and protect its citizens. In that brief exchange among firefighters and officers, something remarkable began to occur. The energy shifted. They could feel The Rock's unwavering belief that collective action could make all the difference. His presence reignited the firefighters' spirits as they communicated more effectively, inspired by this unexpected ally who stood firm beside them. As flames roared higher behind him, casting flickering shadows across his face, The Rock's unwavering resolve transformed anxiety into solidarity among the crowd below. Eager murmurs echoed through the crowd. Would this beloved icon become an essential part of their fight against calamity? In this pivotal moment of uncertainty, it seemed as though hope had breath, vibrant and full of potential, with The Rock leading its charge. As the flames roared higher, crackling menacingly and sending black smoke billowing into the sky, the urgency of the situation escalated. Amidst the chaos, The Rock's attention was suddenly drawn to a desperate cry piercing through the tumult. His heart raced as he turned toward the sound, a woman's voice filled with fear and desperation. "Help! Somebody help me," she screamed, frantically waving from a balcony on one of the upper floors of Crestview Tower. Panic washed over The Rock as he locked eyes with her, her expression reflecting sheer terror. Time seemed to freeze as he processed what was before him. There was no hesitation. He knew he had to act quickly. Without a moment to spare, The Rock sprinted towards the building, determined not to let fear dictate his actions. Firefighters were already working diligently to position ladders and douse the flames surrounding her precarious perch, but seconds felt like an eternity for the trapped woman. He could see her struggling against the encroaching smoke that clouded her escape. "Stay calm, I'm coming for you," The Rock shouted up at her, his deep voice resonating with confidence amid the chaos. He made his way through fire crews, stepping over hoses and navigating debris with ease. As he approached where firefighters were positioned on ladders, he quickly assessed how high they could reach before they would need assistance. Climbing onto a lower ledge, he called out again to reassure her, "Just hold on, I'll be right there." Energy pulsed through him as he prepared himself for what lay ahead. His muscles tensed, focusing on strength and agility, the attributes that had long defined his career both in wrestling and acting. In that crucial moment, The Rock spotted a sturdy ledge above him that could provide access to her balcony. With determination fueling his every move, he leaped up to it, grasping onto a metal railing as he hoisted himself upward. Adrenaline coursed through his veins. This was more than a rescue, it was a chance to prove that hope could indeed triumph over despair. The woman's sobs turned to gasps of hope as she caught sight of him approaching for rescue. "You can do this," she encouraged himself silently while focused on helping reach her safety. Clarity surged within him. The connection formed between them in that moment gave him strength as he edged along the balcony toward her. Time stopped once more as The Rock extended his hand to grasp hers firmly, but not just as a gesture of physical rescue. It was an embodiment of solidarity against adversity in their fight against impending danger. With determination coursing through him, The Rock advanced into the perilous surroundings of Crestview Tower, where smoke and fire raged with unforgiving intensity. Each step brought a new onslaught of chaos as he maneuvered through fallen debris and around frantic firefighters, deploying hoses to douse the flames that crackled ominously. The air was thick with heat, making it difficult to breathe, yet he remained focused on the task at hand, ignoring the suffocating smoke that clung like a shroud. As he approached the balcony where the woman was trapped, visibility dwindled further. The swirling smoke made it hard to see her clearly, yet his resolve only intensified. The Rock's instincts kicked in. He crouched low to avoid inhaling too much smoke while keeping his eyes Locked onto the balcony above. He could hear her fearful whimpers interspersed with the sound of flames snapping in the background, a haunting reminder of how quickly her situation could turn dire. Hold on, he shouted again, his voice strong despite the ensuing chaos around him. The urgency in his tone seemed to travel through the oppressive air toward her. He fought against his own fear, channeling every ounce of adrenaline to push forward. In that moment, he wasn't just an actor or a wrestler, he was a man driven to make a difference for someone who felt helpless. Investing his strength into each movement, The Rock found support on precarious ledges as he climbed closer. He could feel the heat radiating from the side of the building. It stung against his skin but only fueled his determination. Every fiber of his being screamed to help this woman. Failure was not an option. His heart raced. Yet every beat reminded him that lives were at stake, not just hers but possibly future victims of this unfolding tragedy. Finally reaching the edge of her balcony, he spotted her disoriented figure amidst plumes of thick gray smoke. With an agile leap, he positioned himself alongside her, extending his hand with fierce intent. As their fingers connected, he felt an electric charge pass between them, an understanding that they were bound together by this moment. "I've got you," The Rock promised, pulling her toward safety with strength born from both physical capability and emotional conviction. In those harrowing moments of peril, everything else faded away, just a man and woman linked by hope amid rising flames, standing against despair together as one defiant force fighting for survival. As The Rock steadied himself on the edge of the balcony, the tension in the air was palpable. Time felt distorted, every second stretched as he focused intently on the woman before him, whose eyes mirrored both fear and uncertainty. The crackle of fire behind him mixed with her soft whimpers, creating a symphony of peril that heightening his awareness of their precarious situation. He knew every moment counted, and now was the time to act decisively. "Look at me," he urged, his voice resonating with a calm authority designed to cut through her panic. "You're going to be okay, I'm right here." His words were not just an attempt to comfort her, they were a lifeline meant to anchor her amidst the chaos swirling around them. The heat intensified as flames licked dangerously close, casting flickering shadows across their faces. The Rock felt beads of sweat trickle down his brow, but he remained focused on her, his expression conveying both steely determination and compassionate reassurance. He could see her trembling hands gripping the railing, knuckles white from fear. "Breathe," he instructed gently, hoping to instill some semblance of control in her tumultuous mind. "Just take a deep breath in and out. You're strong, you can do this." He gestured toward her with a steady hand, inviting her to trust his presence as he prepared for the next move. She nodded slightly, desperation mingling with hope as she absorbed his unwavering confidence. In that fleeting moment of connection, they established an unspoken pact. He would pull her to safety if she took that crucial leap of faith towards him, with swift resolve. The Rock braced himself against the wall beside her and extended his hand farther. "Now, grab my hand." His voice thundered above the raging inferno, urging action as seconds ticked away like grains of sand in an hourglass. As she reached out, there was a palpable shift in energy between them, a powerful bond formed in those critical instants. Her trembling fingers grasped his firmly, it was as if their shared strength surged through their connection. Feeling the weight of her trust and desperation combined, The Rock pulled with all his might while maintaining his footing on that narrow ledge, ensuring no slip would send them tumbling into danger. Every muscle in his body strained against the challenge of lifting not just another person but also their intertwined hopes. In those heart-stopping seconds filled with anticipation and raw emotion, they stood together, not just fighting against flames but embodying resilience itself in this desperate fight for survival amid an escalating crisis. With a surge of determination, The Rock felt the woman's grip tighten around his hand as he prepared to execute the most critical part of their daring escape. Drawing on every ounce of strength, he steadied himself and began to lift her from the balcony, his muscles straining against the weight of their combined hope and desperation. As he hoisted her upward, flames crackled menacingly behind them, but all that mattered in that moment was the connection they had forged through trust and courage. "Just a little more," he encouraged, his voice unwavering despite the chaos surrounding them. The woman's face was a mix of fear and determination as she focused on The Rock, drawing strength from his presence as he pulled her towards safety. Each second felt both agonizingly long and fleeting, the intensity of the situation heightened as they fought against the consuming fire. Finally, with one last powerful heave, The Rock managed to lift her over the edge safely. She stumbled into his arms, gasping for breath but alive. Relief washed over him, flooding through his veins like a cool balm against the fiery backdrop of despair that he held her tightly for a moment, ensuring she was secure before shifting into action once more. "Let's get you out of here," he said firmly, quickly guiding her down to solid ground. Firefighters rushed to meet them as they descended, their faces filled with a mix of awe and gratitude at the sight of the rock. Emerging with the woman in TOW.AS, they reached safety just outside the building. Cheers erupted from onlookers who had gathered to witness this incredible act of bravery. Tears streamed down the woman's face as joy replaced despair. She looked up at the rock with an expression of profound gratitude, her heart swelling with relief that seemed to echo throughout the crowd. "Thank you," she exclaimed, her voice cracking under the weight of emotion. Firefighters surrounded them, clapping their hands in appreciation for the rock's audacity and quick thinking. "You did it," one firefighter shouted, shaking his hand vigorously while others cheered him on. It was not just a rescue but a moment that brought everyone together, a shared victory against adversity. The atmosphere shifted from panic to triumph. People hugged one another while others wiped away tears of relief, for those who had witnessed the ordeal unfold. It was a testament to human resilience and courage in the face of disaster, a moment that would be etched in their memories forever. As the rock stood among them, soaking in their gratitude and relief, he knew this was more than just a heroic act. It was a reminder that hope could prevail even in the darkest of times. In the moments following the rock's heroic rescue, a profound sense of relief and gratitude enveloped the scene. Bystanders, who had anxiously watched the ordeal unfold, erupted into cheers and applause, their fear dissipating as they witnessed this remarkable act of bravery. Many hugged one another tightly, tears of joy streaming down their faces as they celebrated not just the woman's survival but also the unyielding spirit of their community. The rescued woman, still trembling from the adrenaline and the trauma, clasped the rock's hands tightly, her eyes sparkling with gratitude. "Thank you," she breathed, her voice filled with emotion. "I thought I wouldn't make it. You saved my life." Her heartfelt words resonated through the crowd, prompting even more applause and cries of support from those gathered. As the local media began to arrive, cameras clicked and reporters rushed to capture the powerful moment. News crews positioned themselves to interview witnesses, including firefighters who recounted the rock's daring ascent amidst flames and smoke. "He was incredible," one firefighter remarked. "It's not every day you see someone who doesn't think twice about putting themselves in danger for another." Within hours, social media was ablaze with images and stories detailing the rock's fearless actions. Hashtags began trending as people shared videos of his bravery while commentators hailed him as a local hero. His status transcended that of a mere celebrity. He became a symbol of hope and resilience for the entire community. In the subsequent days, numerous community members gathered to express their gratitude through various means. Banners adorned with messages of thanks were displayed outside Crestview Tower, and children delivered handmade cards depicting superheroes alongside notes saying, "Thank you." Meanwhile, local businesses organized a fundraiser in his honor, aiming to support fire safety education programs in schools. As news articles circulated highlighting this extraordinary rescue, the rock's name took on new meaning within the city. It wasn't merely associated with his cinematic roles or wrestling career but now included his unwavering commitment to community spirit and altruism. Interviews highlighted how he inspired others by demonstrating that courage isn't defined solely by one's profession but by choices made in moments of crisis. The entire event served as a poignant reminder of human strength and solidarity in the face of danger, a narrative that would be shared far beyond the immediate vicinity long after that fateful day. In the hearts of many, the Rock had indeed become not just an icon but a beloved figure who exemplified heroism when it mattered most. The dramatic events surrounding the Rock's rescue of the trapped woman transcended a single heroic act, inviting broader reflections on the themes of courage, selflessness, and the role of celebrity in our lives. In times of dire emergencies like the fire at Crestview Tower, the actions of individuals can inspire others to rise above their fears, demonstrating that heroism often resides in moments where one chooses to act for the greater good rather than personal safety. The Rock's willingness to rush into the dangers faced by the trapped residents illustrated how selflessness can manifest in tangible ways. In an age where societal values frequently emphasize self-interest, his actions served as a stark reminder that true bravery sometimes requires one to put themselves in harm's way for those they may not even know. Witnesses remarked on how his charisma and genuine desire to help turned a perilous situation into a rallying point for communities coming together in shared resilience. Furthermore, This incident sparked discussions about the impact of celebrity during crises. Celebrities like The Rock hold a unique place in society. Resources, public visibility, and influence can amplify their roles in emergencies. His presence provided not only physical assistance but also emotional reassurance for those watching helplessly. The mere knowledge that someone widely admired was directly involved gave ordinary citizens a sense of hope and comfort amid bleak circumstances. As social media platforms became inundated with praise for The Rock's actions, discussions took root about what responsibility public figures might have when it comes to leveraging their status for good. Many argued that celebrities have an opportunity, if not an obligation, to serve as advocates for change and sources of inspiration during turbulent times. By engaging with his community, The Rock exemplified how fame can be wielded positively. His involvement fostered unity and uplifted the shared spirit even among strangers drawn together by fear. In the aftermath, many people reflected on their own potential for heroism within their daily lives, whether through small acts of kindness or larger efforts to help those in need. This realization fostered an environment where individuals felt empowered to step up during moments of crisis, regardless of whether they were known or unknown, revealing that courage isn't limited by celebrity status. Ultimately, The Rock's intervention stood as a timeless reminder that while heroes may come in all shapes and forms, the essence of heroism lies within kindness, compassion, and an unyielding commitment to lift others up when they need it most. The echoes of this extraordinary day resonated widely, not merely as an incident involving a beloved celebrity but as a transformative moment drawing forth the best in humanity amidst adversity. In the aftermath of the Crestview Tower fire, the events that unfolded serve as a profound reminder of the power of bravery and compassion in the face of danger. The Rock's daring rescue showcased not only his physical strength but also his unwavering commitment to helping others in their most vulnerable moments. It is in these instances, where fear and chaos reign, that true heroes emerge, often from unexpected places, demonstrating that heroism can be found in everyday individuals willing to act selflessly. The ripples of courage displayed during this crisis resonated far beyond the immediate scene. The collective emotion of relief and gratitude shared by the community illustrated how interconnected lives are, especially when faced with adversity. The Rock's actions inspired those around him to reflect on their own capacity for compassion and bravery, reminding them that anyone can rise to the occasion when called upon. This incident has become a narrative of hope, urging others to consider how they might respond in similar situations, whether through small acts of kindness or greater gestures of support. Moreover, this event challenged preconceived notions of what it means to be a hero. While many might envision grand gestures or extraordinary feats associated with celebrity culture, The Rock's intervention highlighted that true heroism lies in sincerity and genuine concern for others. It underscored the idea that anyone can act heroically, regardless of their background or status. All it takes is the willingness to step forward when it matters most. As local communities reflect on the lessons learned from this incident, there is an opportunity to cultivate a culture where bravery and compassion are celebrated and encouraged. Schools may introduce programs focusing on empathy and civic responsibility, while local organizations might host events that empower individuals to engage in volunteer work or emergency response training. Ultimately, the legacy of The Rock's actions during the Crestview Tower fire will continue to inspire future generations. It serves as a poignant reminder that heroes come in many forms, sometimes from within our own neighborhoods or community circles, and that each act of kindness contributes to a more compassionate world. As we move forward from this significant event, let us carry forth the spirit of unity and resilience that was so vividly demonstrated, reinforcing our belief that together, we can face any challenge with courage and hope.